Hello everyone, and welcome back to another video with On Point Politics. And today I'm going to be talking about the latest poll from every state in the 2024 presidential election. Make sure to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and drop a comment down below before we get started with the video. And so, pretty much, guys, we can see right here RCP has a toss-up map here. And for the sake of the video, just for time, I'm going to be filling in most of the safe Republican and Democratic states. Those would be Utah, Idaho, Montana, Wyoming, the Dakotas, Nebraska, with the 1st and 3rd congressional district and the at-large vote, since Nebraska and Maine are the only states that award electoral votes based on congressional district. Kansas, Oklahoma, Arkansas, Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, Tennessee, Kentucky, Indiana, West Virginia, Missouri, South Carolina, Maine, 2nd Congressional District, and Alaska are all safe Republican as of right now. California, we can see that the state of Hawaii, DC, Maryland, Massachusetts, Vermont are going to be safe Democratic states, as well as the 1st Congressional District as of right now. And so these are all the safe states I could actually award. And funny enough, in Hawaii, I actually can't even award a safe categorization because the latest poll does not even have Biden up by a safe margin. Now, we're going to be going from west to east through every single poll as of right now. If we go to the first state, we'll go to Washington. As we can see right here, the latest poll has Biden up by 8 percentage points in this sample. We can see that will put the state in the likely Democratic column, which is actually around where my forecast model has the state right now. This state is a very Democrat state. You know, it voted by 19 points for the incumbent president and voted around 15 points for Hillary Clinton in 2016. However, due to a huge rightward national shift, I do expect this state to become a lot closer in the 2024 presidential election. If we go to the next state, which is Oregon, we'll see that the latest poll actually has Biden up by 16 percentage points, according to Emerson College. That would actually put the state in the safe Democratic column and would make it even more safe Democrat than even Washington, which would be a very interesting trend to actually see out of the state. You know, that state voted 16 points for Biden and then voted 11 points for Biden. So that rightward shift in Washington, but the leftward shift in Oregon would be really interesting to witness. The next state we're going to be looking at is Nevada. We can see that in the latest poll, Bloomberg and Morning Consult actually has the race tied. But if we look at the five-way aggregate, you actually see that the latest poll has Biden up 5 percentage points in the state as of right now. And so if we go ahead and apply that, that would make the state likely Republican. And it would be the first time a Republican would win the state since 2004, when Bush actually won it by 2.6 percentage points, when he won the popular vote by almost 3 percentage points. And so it would mark a massive victory in the state of Nevada. Nevada used to be very Republican back in the 70s and 80s, and then kind of became more Republican in the 2000s. But ever since Obama won it, he kind of made it ultra Democrat. But ever since then, it's been trending slowly and slowly to the right. And now eventually we see in this latest poll, Donald Trump is ahead by 5 percentage points. If we go to Arizona, we'll be able to see something very interesting here. Arizona voted for Biden in 2020 by 0.31 percentage points. And now the polling is looking significantly worse for him. The latest Bloomberg poll has Biden up, or excuse me, has Biden down 5 percentage points. That puts the state in the likely Republican column. The state has not voted a likely Republican since 2012, when Romney won it by 9.1%. So this would be a huge shocker to see the state end up voting by a likely margin. It's been trending Democrat, ever since the 2012 election, when you did kind of have these Romney McCain type voters. You kind of slip away from Donald Trump as of right now. And so you do see that massive shift in a state like Arizona. However, due to Biden's unpopularity, we presume that Donald Trump in the latest poll is winning Arizona by 5 percentage points. The next state we're going to be looking at is the state of Colorado, which has a likely characterization. The latest poll actually only has Biden up by 6, and this is a poll from January. So if we go ahead and apply that there, it'll be a likely state, almost lean. And it's very interesting because Colorado is a very left trending state. It voted 13.5 points for Biden in 2020. And in 2016, it only voted for Clinton by 4.9%. It was one of the four lean Democrat states. So a lot of people were really surprised to see the state trend that far to the left. But you basically see that Clinton pretty much just picked up most of the third party candidate support, or at least Biden picked up most of that third party candidate support, and Trump kind of dropped like 2 points. That's basically what you saw there. The state may have been more Democrat on the actual, level of it. However, we do see that the state, has become significantly more Democrat. So to see a vote only 6.5 points for Biden would be a pretty historic election. New Mexico, we see the latest poll actually has Biden up by 8. So we can see that New Mexico is a bigger victory according to the latest polling data than even Colorado, which would make sense if there's going to be a really high third party vote share. We could see Colorado vote to the right of New Mexico ever so slightly, but the third party vote share this cycle would have to be way higher for that to occur. If we go to Hawaii, we actually see if they did not update the aggregate, but the latest poll from 538 actually has Biden only up there by 8 percentage points with third-party candidates included. The head-to-head poll only has him up by, I believe, 17, 18 points. So we're going to put that in the likely Democratic column. This would be crazy because the state has been safe Democrat ever since 1984. Reagan won it by 11 points. And ever since then, it's been slowly trending towards Democrats until Kerry actually only won it by 8 points in 2004, which is very interesting. But then Hawaii, basically, Obama won it by 45. So at that point, Hawaii was completely, trending left off a cliff at that point. No election model would have been able to track how far to the left that state would have been. Even New Mexico had a crazy shift. You had to vote for Bush in 2004, and then it voted for Obama by 15 points. You see some massive shifts. Even Michigan, 3-point win for Kerry. You see Obama won it by 16. So that was incredible. Honestly, incredible performance there. And so if we look at Texas, we're going to be able to see that in the latest poll in Texas, Donald Trump is up by 8 percentage points according to the University of Texas. That puts him in the likely Republican column there. That would be an impressive win for Donald Trump. Not as impressive as Romney's 2012 win, but definitely close to his 2016 win as of right now. The next state we're going to be looking at on here is the state of Iowa, which actually in the latest poll, Donald Trump is up by 15 points. This state has been trending Republican since 2008 when, Obama won it by a likely margin in both elections because he did somewhat well with the white working class population there. But unfortunately for the Democrats, Donald Trump has kind of outgunned them on this department, and he's made Iowa a safe Republican state. Nebraska's second is interesting because a new poll has Biden up by 5, and it's a Republican-leaning pollster, but there's another poll that has him up by 3, so we're going to average out the polls and say that he's ahead by 2 points. Well, actually, we can't do that. We have to do the latest poll, so technically, Nebraska's second is a likely margin as of right now for Joe Biden. If we go to Illinois, we'll see it's even in the likely Democratic column. The latest poll has Biden up by 9. That would be crazy because Biden won that by 17 in 2000. He basically won it by 17 points in 2020. Clinton won it by around the same margin as before. So you are seeing a major shift in the state of Illinois. Now, the next state we're going to be looking at is Ohio, where Donald Trump is up by 12 points in the latest poll, which is fascinating. He won it by 8 in the last cycle, and I expect these states to continue to trend to the right. And with Donald Trump more than likely winning the popular vote, I would not be surprised by those margins whatsoever. Now, going to Virginia, we're going to see that the latest poll actually has it as a statistical tie. It is actually a statistical tie in polling data. Now, we don't know, who is up in this because they're both at the same tie. But since Biden is up in the aggregate by 3 points, I'm going to just theoretically give the state to Biden in a statistical tie. But it is a very close state as of right now, which is insane because it voted for Biden by 10.1 percentage points in 2020 and voted for Clinton by 5.3 percentage points. And so that would be a massive shift. Romney lost it by 3.9. So used to lean more Republican before. But Now you're seeing a crazy shift now. You're seeing an absolutely crazy shift of Virginia being a very Democratic state now. Looking at North Carolina, you're going to see huge shifts in the state. Donald Trump in the latest poll, Bloomberg is up by 7 points. That would be a major improvement from both of his election victories, where he won North Carolina twice. He won it by 3.7 points in 2016 and won it by 1.3 in 2020. And so that would be a major improvement there. And that mostly would probably come from African American support dipping for Biden. The latest poll for Bloomberg, if we go to the five-way race, has Donald Trump up by 5 percentage points in Georgia. So basically mimicking, his 2016 victory. He basically matched his 2016 victory of 5.1 percentage points in the state. And if we look at Georgia, we'll see that right now it is a tilt Democratic state from 2020 due to very high African American turnout. However, even in a Biden best case scenario, I don't expect Biden to end up winning that state again. He probably even lose it by over a point, even if he had a really good night. And the next state we're going to be looking at is the state of Florida. This is a state that used to be a purple state, has been competitive, in the previous elections, in 2008, lean Democrat, tilt Democrat for Obama. Trump won Florida in 2016 by 1 point. And then in 2020, he had a pretty big victory in the state despite losing the whole election and it being like 4.5 percentage points national environment for the Democrat. And so you're seeing the state trend to the right, nationally, and that's definitely pushing the state further to the right. As of right now, the latest poll actually has Trump. CBS News has him up by 9 in the state, but with third-party candidates, he's actually up by around 13 points in the same poll. So either poll would put him in the likely Republican category in that state, which would be absolutely insane because that would be a humongous victory in the state of Florida. No candidate has won it by a likely margin since 2004 when Bush won it by 5, albeit with a completely different coalition. You see that Trump has won Monroe County. Bush didn't even win Monroe when he won it by 5, but he did really well in some of the suburban areas. Even Orange County, was literally a tilt Democratic county for Kerry back then. And considering that, a major university like, UCF is here, you do have, these counties up here, that used to be, or now are at least major Democratic counties. And, the FSU universities here, UF is in this county. And even Seminole County has become, a pretty Democrat county, leaning Democrat. Trump won it before. But it's quite funny because even Volciala used to be very Democrat, and now it's likely Republican with Trump. So you're seeing that Trump is doing a lot better in the rural parts of the state. However, he has majorly improved in these safe Democratic counties here. He's made massive gains in these counties. Biden only won Palm Beach by 12 and only won Miami-Dade by 7. I actually expect Trump to flip Miami-Dade by a couple points in the next cycle. He probably wins it by over 5 based off these polls. And so Donald Trump is going to easily win the state of Florida in this election cycle. If we look at Connecticut, I really hope they actually updated the aggregate here, and they have not. The latest poll from 538 has Biden up by 9, so we're going to put that in the likely category. If we go to New Jersey, they have that one poll that has him up by 7, but the third-party candidates poll has him up by 5, so we're going to put that in the likely category. Delaware, they probably don't have any polling data. We're going to put it in the likely Democratic category for now since the Kennedy polls. Biden's at 46, Trump's at 36. So if you were to subtract that, Biden would be ahead by 10. And if we go to Rhode Island, which if I can find it, we're going to see right here that in the latest poll, Biden's actually up by 20 percentage points. So that goes in the safe Democratic column as of right now. And if we go to the state of New York, if they update the aggregate, we will actually see that Biden is up here by only 9 points in a head-to-head matchup from a poll in New York. And so that puts the state in the likely Democrat category. If we go to New Hampshire, we're going to see the latest poll actually has Biden up by 4 percentage points as of right now, which is 3 points closer than what it was in, 2020, 7.4 percentage point victory. So that would be a massive shift in favor of Biden in that state. And if we were to go to Maine at large, we'll see the latest poll actually has Trump up by 6. So that actually puts the state in the likely Republican column. And the poll actually had Maine's first only being a 9-point victory for Biden. So we're going to put that in the likely Democratic column. And so literally without the Rust Belt, literally just getting the Sun Belt and getting Maine at large, Trump's already won the Electoral College. He's already won. And now with Wisconsin, the latest poll has Trump up by 1 point, according to Bloomberg. But in the five-way race, we see that Trump is also up by 1 percentage point. And so we're going to put that in the lean Republican column as of right now. If we go to Pennsylvania, we're going to be able to see Donald Trump has a pretty good lead there as of right now, considering that he was never ahead in any of the polling aggregates. If you go to the five-way race, well, actually, see, he's up by 3 in Pennsylvania in the five-way race, which is insane. And if we look at this, Trump is up by 3 percentage points in the state of Pennsylvania, according to the latest poll. That puts the state in the lean Republican column. And if we go to Michigan, we'll see that Donald Trump is also, slowly and slowly creeping up on Biden here. Definitely Biden took a surge in the aggregate since they put in a couple of these polls. But in the latest poll, Donald Trump is up by 2 in the five-way race. We'll see that it is actually a statistical tie as of right now. And Trump in the latest poll is up by 1. And so that puts the state in the lean Republican column. And if we go to Minnesota, which is going to be the final state for us, it's crazy. Decision Desk average has Minnesota as a 1 point lead, or not even. It's actually a 0.3 percentage point lead in the aggregate for Trump in Minnesota. But the latest poll, according to RCP, has Biden up 2 points in the state as of right now. And that puts it in the lean Democrat column. And so this is the final map. According to the latest polls from Real Clear Politics, Donald Trump is up but 314 electoral college votes to Joe Biden's 224 electoral college votes. If you guys did enjoy this video, please hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, make sure to go ahead and follow the Twitter and join the Discord in the description down below. And I will see you guys very, very soon.